In the last human stronghold called Dust City, a crazy thunderstorm keeps pounding the fortress walls while these majestic dragons swoop down from the sky. One of these awesome creatures is Leon's family dragon, a special being facing a similar destiny. As this chaotic event unfolds right in front of them, Atta the Timekeeper comes up to the respected sage with a serious message. With a somber tone, he announces that there's no hope left for our world. But Atta, determined as ever, decides to sacrifice not only his physical body but also his very essence to create a path through time for the sage. He urgently pleads with the sage to take on the responsibility of our dreams and embark on a journey into a different era, relying on their wisdom to change humanity's fate. However, the wise sage knows they're being watched closely by the powerful deities who control the mysterious fabric of time. Stuck in our current era, escape seems impossible. But undeterred by this realization, the sage starts tapping into their magical powers, proclaiming that those who aren't bound by this era have the power to shape humanity's destiny. With a grand wave of their staff, they release a surge of powerful magic, coinciding with a magnificent beam of golden energy shining from the tall building. Hovering ominously in the sky, the forbidden deity addresses the puny humans, mocking their futile struggles and warning them that their feeble hopes will be crushed by despair. With a sneer, it tells them to silently wither away amidst the ruins of their era, turning into nothing but dust. The forbidden deity reaches out towards the magical beam, aiming to destroy the passage. Unfazed by the deity's menacing threats, the great sage gathers all their strength and boldly declares that they might be as insignificant as dust, but they are heroes nonetheless. They challenge the forbidden deity to witness the indomitable power of 10,000 fragments of dust. The people, astonished by this awe-inspiring display, perceive it as the start of a grand sacrificial ceremony led by the great sage. With a resounding cry, the sage declares that this era teeters on the edge of oblivion, soon to be reduced to dust. Urging their fellow warriors to join in, the sage leads them in a magnificent spectacle of fireworks, symbolizing the explosive finale of their era. Willingly transforming into dust, the warriors follow the sage without an ounce of regret in their hearts. In a defeated tone, the forbidden deity laments, declaring that the people of the past leave a gift for the people of the future. It's a gift that defies the unstoppable flow of time, destined for a distant realm. It's a seed of hope planted for the betterment of humanity's future. The radiant beam travels through time and arrives in an era where people ride wild beasts, relying on their mighty creature companions to explore the world. They establish gathering places where the bountiful resources of this world can be enjoyed. However, beyond these safe havens, dangerous beasts roam freely. For 100 years now, the Blacklight Gathering Place has precariously balanced on the edge of the treacherous wasteland. The Fort Master, incredibly skilled rider, has overseen the establishment of a special training program at Blacklight Castle. As the guardian of the entrance to the Blacklight Gathering Place, the Fort Master has dutifully carried out this role for a century. Inside the Blacklight Gathering Place, a man with vibrant blue hair stands in front of a notice board, cradling an egg in his hands. He reads the notice written on the board that states, "Rider Special Training Camp, no idlers. If within 3 years you succeed in hatching, you will be instantly included in a gathering team. If there are any objections, good guy. Being a rider has risks. If you want to join, be careful." The man lets out a weary sigh as he looks at his egg, which remains unyielding even as tomorrow marks the end of the 3-year period. There are no signs of the shell cracking open. Lost in thought, he lifts his gaze to the sky and witnesses a dazzling beam of light descending from above, hitting him right on the head. The man with bright blue hair lies unconscious on the ground after being hit by a laser beam. In his semi-conscious state, he vividly dreams of dragon riders and their powerful creatures. Suddenly, a voice interrupts his dream, urging him to wake up. The voice questions whether he spent the night there, reminding him that trainee riders in special training are not allowed to stay overnight in the castle. Confused and dazed, the man wonders if his extraordinary dream was just a product of his imagination and ponders the remarkable powers possessed by dragon riders. While lost in his thoughts, another person impatiently interrupts, expressing annoyance at the man's disregard. They call him an idiot and question his attention. The person then informs him that today he is expected to join the search team for an expedition beyond the gathering land, accompanied by other individuals of lower status. They mention that he broke curfew and speculate on whether he will survive the punishment of 12 lashes in the wilderness. The conversation takes a turn as Su-Heng is addressed. He is asked about his cracking beast egg and the possibility of his success. Another person reacts with surprise, noting that Su-Heng, who they initially considered to be a good-for-nothing, actually achieved success. It is revealed that there was a significant misunderstanding. A woman named Lu Yu appears and interrupts, stating that there is no need to make the call. Lu Yu, the special training officer, asks Su-Heng to attempt communication with the beast egg. Su-Heng softly whispers to the egg, expressing his eagerness and anticipation. In response, the egg emits a grumbling sound, filling Su-Heng with joy as he exclaims that it has responded. Lu Yu shares in the excitement, affirming that Blacklight has found another young rider. However, her attention shifts to something on Su-Heng's face. Lu Yu expresses concern about Su-Heng's injured face and discovers that he was struck by the other person. Shocked by the act of striking a rider, Lu Yu swiftly decides to administer 20 lashes as punishment and banish the offender from the gathering land. The frightened man pleads for Su Heng to spare his life. Lu Yu instructs Su Heng to follow her, leading him to the fortress where they encounter Master Zhou He. Master Zhou He inquires if Su Heng is the first newcomer of the year. Lu Yu, the special training officer, acknowledges Su Heng's unexpected success and mentions that he was supposed to report to the search team. She suggests that his reward should be substantial. Master Zhou He, the fortress master, praises Su Heng for his determination and offers him two options. The first option involves receiving dragon scales infused with a high-ranked dragon bloodline, which would accelerate the hatching process of his scaled lizard egg and potentially enhance its strength. The second option allows Su Heng to choose a beast from Master Zhou's personal collection when the time comes to raise another one. After considering, Su Heng concludes that the dragon scales would be the more suitable choice for him. Master Zhou He agrees to provide Su Heng with the dragon scales and promises their delivery in the afternoon. He expresses his hope that Su Heng will continue to persevere and make valuable contributions to the gathering land. Su Heng confidently responds affirmatively. In the outer district, Su Heng is at Su Huan's home. Su Heng cries out in pain as Su Huan holds onto him tightly. Su Huan questions Su Heng about his whereabouts throughout the night and expresses her frustration. In the midst of their argument, they hear a knock on the door. A voice identifies themselves as delivering goods from the fortress master and extends wishes for good luck and successful progress with their beast. Su Heng exclaims with amazement while Su Huan, astonished, questions if Su Heng succeeded. She recognizes the significance of his success, mentioning their parents' potential joy and their decision not to sell their old house, believing that her brother is destined for greatness. While visiting his sister Su Huan's residence in the outer district, Su Heng and Su Huan engage in a conversation only to be interrupted by a knock on the door. Su Heng promptly notifies his sister about the presence of someone from outside. A man enters the house holding a plate adorned with gifts and coins, causing an uneasy silence as all three individuals exchange glances. Su Huan, feeling nervous, suddenly recalls that she needs to leave for work and swiftly excuses herself, leaving Su Heng to attend to the visitor. Hurriedly, she departs, closing the door behind her and leaving Su Heng alone with the unexpected guest. While examining the gifts presented by the man, Su Heng stumbles upon an object resembling dragon scales. Unexpectedly, the scales begin to emit a radiant glow, forging a connection with Su Heng's mind. In an instant, he finds himself immersed in a vision, witnessing a comprehensive chart that elucidates the transformation and evolution of mythical creatures. This extraordinary experience imparts profound knowledge to Su Heng regarding the process of transmuting a scale lizard into a formidable dragon. Within the vision, Su Heng comprehends that fully grown dragon snakes, a highly perilous species, which possess the potential to obliterate an entire small gathering. However, the creature he currently holds, the scale lizard, belongs to an entirely distinct species classified as an intermediate level of danger. As Su Heng reflects, he contemplates whether the dragon blood root bears any resemblance to the purple-brown root and whether it possesses any practical value. Intriguingly, he entertains the idea of incubating the dragon snake lizard, aspiring to surpass the remarkable achievements of a prodigious girl who captivated everyone's attention and eventually caught the eye of the Lord, earning the honor of becoming his disciple. Su Heng envisions the possibility that the initial creature he hatches might potentially evolve into a highly dangerous species, igniting his curiosity and ambition even further. Fueled by hope and ambition, Su Heng hastens to his store and procures the desired root, envisioning the prospect of becoming a disciple of the Lord. Upon returning home, he proceeds with a meticulously planned ritual intending to enhance the likelihood of successful egg hatching. Carefully crushing the root into a paste-like substance, Su Heng combines it with the egg, positioning it within a bowl. With utmost precision, he creates a summoning circle, positioning the bowl at its center to commence the ritual. As the ritual unfolds, an extraordinary spectacle unfolds before Su Heng's eyes. A brilliant and intense light radiates from within the egg, gradually taking the form of a majestic and sizable dragon. Yet, in a swift turn of events, the luminous display abruptly dissipates, leaving Su Heng uncertain whether the creature about to hatch will be a scale lizard or a dragon snake lizard. Excitement and anticipation course through his thoughts as the process of hatching continues unabated. At the training ground, Lu Yu assumes her supervisory role, overseeing the ongoing training sessions. As she focuses on her duties, her attention is caught by a conversation among some individuals nearby. They discuss Su Heng's absence from training and engage in speculation about his well-being. The group's dialogue centers around Su Heng's perceived arrogance, and they express curiosity about how Lu Yu will address and discipline him. Just as their conversation unfolds, Lu Yu's gaze shifts and she notices Su Heng finally arriving at the training grounds. Acknowledging his presence, Lu Yu remarks that he has arrived just in time for the training. The individuals who were discussing Su Heng's absence nervously attempt to explain that circumstances beyond their control had caused them to miss the training session. Sensing that further explanation is required, Lu Yu insists on a reasonable justification. At that moment, Su Heng directs his attention towards his backpack and beckons, "Come out, little guy." To the astonishment of everyone present, a delightful, adorable blue dragon emerges from his backpack, instantly captivating everyone's attention. The small blue dragon peeks out of Su Heng's backpack and everyone is shocked to see the dragon. People shout that it's not a scale lizard, but they are unsure of what it is. The dragon emanates a powerful aura. Lu Yu shouts that it's actually a top-level dangerous species, a dragon snake lizard. As everyone on the training ground murmurs in awe after seeing Su Heng's dragon, Lu Yu tells him to hurry and come with her to see the castle lord. Lu Yu and Su Heng reach the castle lord, who exclaims that it's actually a top-level dangerous species. The castle lord is surprised that the dragon snake lizard hatched as a top-level dangerous species from the beginning. The castle lord instructs Lu Yu to find out who is responsible for manipulating Su Heng's pet egg. The castle lord asks Lu Yu to immediately notify the bureau to punish and deduct 3 months' salary from the person responsible. The castle lord then asks who mixed the dragon snake lizard into the scale lizard, almost ruining the future of a genius. The castle lord tells Su Heng that despite the hardships he has faced, he has worked hard in these years and fortunately survived. The castle lord explains that if Su Heng had only obtained an ordinary pet egg initially, even if it was a high-risk species like Susu, his achievements would have been extraordinary. However, with this dragon snake lizard as a starting point, the castle lord believes Su Heng will not be weaker than anyone else in the future. Su Heng expresses his determination not to disappoint the castle lord's expectations. The castle lord is pleased to have a talented and tenacious genius like Su Heng as his disciple. He asks Su Heng if he is willing to be his disciple. This shocks both Lu Yu and Su Heng. Su Heng excitedly shouts that he is willing to be the castle lord's disciple. The castle lord happily accepts Su Heng as his disciple and announces that tonight a banquet will be held to celebrate the birth of a genius pet trainer who is gathered in the dark and to mark the castle lord accepting a new disciple. After attending the banquet, which lasted until the evening, Su Heng and his sister are escorted home by the castle lord's guards in a carriage. Su Heng tells his sister that he now receives a monthly pet trainer allowance in gold crests, and he suggests selling the old house they sold to send him for training to buy it back. Su Yuan playfully pulls her brother's cheeks and tells him that she can't earn that much in 3 years. Su Heng asks his sister to stop pulling his cheeks and advises her to rest as she has to work the next day. Su Heng then immerses himself in studying about beasts in his book. He learns that the boundary between ordinary creatures and dangerous species lies in their innate talent to use energy. The technique of using energy talent is called energy skill, which is the key factor in determining the strength of pet trainers. As a top-level dangerous species, the dragon snake lizard naturally possesses strong energy talent. In addition to its fierce attacks, the dragon snake lizard also possesses unique skills and lower-level racial skills common among dragons. Su Heng looks at the cute little sleeping dragon beside him and expresses his belief that it will become an extremely powerful beast controller as it grows. He realizes that the growth rate of dangerous species cannot be calculated by common sense. The next day in the training room, Su Heng begins his training with the castle lord. The castle lord remarks that Su Heng's dragon snake lizard has strong innate potential and suggests testing the dragon's talent for the 3 energy systems and choosing one for key training. The castle lord shows his glowing ring and explains that the main force of being a teacher is the evil department. The castle lord proceeds with Su Heng's training using his ring to introduce artifacts. He explains that the Yuan artifact is a special item that can accommodate giant-sized Yuchong within its interior space. This allows the Yuchong to rest and recover their physical strength at an accelerated rate. As Yuchong reach their mature stage, they grow to become extremely large, making it impossible for a Yushi to control just one Yuchong. To address this, Yuan artifacts were created in the form of bracelets, necklaces, brooches, wristwatches, earrings, pendants, and more. Using his ring, the castle lord summons a massive crimson wolf, revealing it to be a secondary terrifying species at the congenital racial level. This particular wolf, known as the Crimson Evil Wolf, has advanced to the advanced terrifying species in terms of postnatal cultivation. The castle lord mentions that it was his own Yuchong in the past and deems it suitable for testing Su Heng's dragon snake lizard. Upon seeing the wolf, Su Heng wonders if this choice is appropriate. The castle lord explains that the Crimson Evil Wolf is a terrifying species that combines the attributes of pure evil and pure animal. He then instructs Su Heng to bring his dragon snake lizard and mentions that it will need to rely on itself from now on. The little blue dragon becomes scared when faced with the imposing Crimson Evil Wolf. Su Heng tries to encourage it, telling it to stay strong. Meanwhile, the castle lord instructs the Crimson Evil Wolf to use its exhale desire to teach the little one, emphasizing the importance of timing. The wolf gathers a large red energy ball in its mouth, but the castle lord suddenly interrupts, stating that it is good enough. Su Heng notices an ominous purple light emanating from his dragon and cheers it on to keep going. The castle lord remarks that the dragon seems to be clever. However, the dragon suddenly loses his aura, causing the castle lord to sigh. He He explains that the dragon snake lizard has already understood the power of the evil attribute, and the purple smoke represents the embryonic form of the breath of evil. The castle lord praises the dragon's high talent, noting that it has already started to comprehend skills just from its initial movements. He concludes that there is no need for further testing with the crimson evil wolf and recalls it into his ring. The blue little dragon breathes a sigh of relief, but the castle lord calls forth another one of his beasts, the earth duck-billed beast. This beast belongs to the three-tiered terrifying species of earth animal and monster types. The little blue dragon becomes even more scared and seeks refuge behind Su Heng, holding onto his leg in terror. Su Heng questions the castle lord about the appropriateness of using a top-tier terrifying species. The castle lord agrees, acknowledging that it would be too easy to use a high-level dangerous species against a talented Yushi like Su Heng. To address Su Heng's concerns, the castle lord summons one of his main Yuchon, a giant dragon known as the Magma Tyrannosaurus. This dragon is a rare combination of fire dragon, evil, and rock attributes, and it is the castle lord's only dragon-type Yuchon. The castle lord urges them to continue, ready for the training to proceed. Both Su Heng and his dragon become scared and ask the castle lord about the rarity of dragon-type Yuchon. The castle lord confirms that they are indeed rare and mentions that Su Heng was fortunate to hatch and tame the dragon snake lizard. Otherwise, such a dragon snake lizard would not have fallen into the hands of a newcomer like Su Heng. As Su Heng reflects on the extraordinary knowledge he has gained through his visions, he comes to a profound realization. The information contained within the ancient dragon scriptures is of utmost importance and must be safeguarded as a secret. Recognizing the immense power and hidden wisdom held within those ancient texts, Su Heng understands that sharing this knowledge carelessly could have far-reaching consequences. Su Heng, accompanied by his small blue dragon, stands alongside the castle lord and the mighty Magma Tyrannosaurus. The castle lord inquires about their readiness, and the little blue dragon trembles upon beholding the colossal creature. With a booming voice, the castle lord exclaims, "Raging lava dragon, let us test this creature's endurance with a touch of draconic power." The Magma Tyrannosaurus unleashes a thunderous roar, striking fear into the hearts of Su Heng and his dragon. Overwhelmed by the awe-inspiring presence emanating from the Magma Tyrannosaurus, Su Heng feels as though he is a tiny boat in a turbulent river, constantly teetering on the edge of being overwhelmed by the immense pressure exerted by this superior life form. The castle lord interrupts Su Heng, cautioning him to remain outside the range of attack. He swiftly guides Su Heng away from the formidable aura exuded by the Magma Tyrannosaurus. To their astonishment, they witness the dissipation of the aura. They stand in awe, realizing that the small blue dragon has remarkably endured the overwhelming aura of the Magma Tyrannosaurus. With a resounding cry, the castle lord commands, "Raging lava dragon, intensify the pressure on the little one." The Magma Tyrannosaurus roars once more, closing in to strike the little blue dragon. Struggling to withstand the mighty aura emanating from the Magma Tyrannosaurus, the small blue dragon fights valiantly. The castle lord feels a pang of sympathy for the little blue dragon as it valiantly contends with the overpowering aura. He murmurs, "Can't hold on any longer?" However, his gaze soon lands on the unwavering determination displayed by the small blue dragon. With admiration, the castle lord remarks that despite its frailty, the little dragon employs low-level dragon power to resist the mid-level dragon power of the raging lava dragon. Overwhelmed by the dragon's remarkable talent, the castle lord ponders whether it can eventually liberate itself from the clutches of the terror race in the future. A sense of delight washes over Su Heng, prompting him to inquire about the strength of the little dragon. Seizing the moment, the castle lord asks Su Heng if he utilized the dragon scale that was sent to him, to which Su Heng confirms its immediate utilization upon receiving it. It appears that this little one has absorbed the special substance contained within the dragon scale remarkably well, the castle lord explains. In fact, it may have successfully inherited a trace of the dragon bloodline concealed within the scale, resulting in its surpassing talent compared to the other two. Meanwhile, the resilient little blue dragon continues to grapple with the formidable aura emitted by the Magma Tyrannosaurus. The castle lord presents a book to Su Heng and states, "I have compiled the training methods and techniques within this booklet using the way of soul branding. It also includes a suitable basic soul forging method for you. While you train your companion, do not overlook the cultivation of your own soul. The power of the soul serves as the strength of the trainer and lays the foundation for controlling the pet." Expressing his gratitude, Su Heng extends his heartfelt thanks to the castle lord. Once he departs from the castle, Su Heng calmly proceeds to repurchase his old house from the past. Recognizing Su Heng's new role as a trainer, the other party treats him with utmost respect and courtesy. Seizing the opportunity while Su Yuan remains at work, Su Heng diligently tidies and cleans the old house once again. Although he cannot fully restore it to its original appearance, as he remembers, a profound sense of closure washes over him, resolving a long-standing matter. Yet, before he can share the news with Su Yuan, Su Heng decides to surprise his older sister by visiting her workplace and offering to escort her home. Affectionately petting the little dragon on its back, Su Heng declares, "Let's go. We'll pick up our sister along the way." Meanwhile, On the other side, Su Yuan finds herself confronted by two barking dogs, causing her to tremble with fear. Overhearing the commotion, Su Heng quickly realizes that his sister is in danger. Without a moment's hesitation, he rushes to her aid. Su Yuan politely requests the two dogs to step aside, but three individuals behind them begin taunting her, insisting that the dogs pose no threat and are merely playing. Su Yuan found herself being harassed by two dogs and three men. The trio of men jeered and made a disrespectful remark, saying, "If you're willing to entertain me tonight, I won't require you to play with my dog anymore." The three men continued to harass Su Yuan until Su Heng intervened, rushing to her rescue and shouting at the trio. Su Heng bravely approached the three men holding a brick in his hand and yelled, "I'll take you on, you ignorant fools." Su Heng delivered a powerful strike to one of the dogs, hitting it forcefully on the head with a brick. The impact caused the dog to retreat in pain, leaving it subdued. Witnessing Su Heng's display of strength, the other dog and the three men were filled with fear and hesitated to approach further. With a firm voice, Su Heng shouted at the trio, "You worthless street punks, stay away from my sister." Just because Xiao Bao is the plantation supervisor doesn't mean everyone has to respect you. His words carried a tone of authority and warning, demanding their immediate compliance and respect for Su Yuan's safety. The three men became upset and furious, shedding tears for their dog named Charlie. One of the men yelled, "You despicable brat! How dare you harm my Charlie?" He then commanded the other dog, Jack, to attack Su Heng and bite him until his demise. In defense of his sister, Su Heng stood his ground while his sister urged him to flee swiftly. Jack the dog leaped towards Su Heng with the intention of attacking him. Overwhelmed with fear, Su Heng desperately tried to defend himself. It was at that moment that the little blue dragon on his back came to life. The dragon's eyes glowed with intense red anger. The small dragon launched a fierce assault on the dog, sinking its teeth into the dog's neck with unrelenting force. Su Heng watched in awe and admiration as his little dragon fearlessly fought, continuing to bite the dog's neck. Su Heng cheered on the dragon, encouraging its efforts, and exclaimed, "Well done, little buddy. Bite him until he meets his end." The three men, terrified by the sight of the wounded dog, grew even more desperate. One of them urged everyone to draw their knives and attack Su Heng, intending to stab him to his demise. With knives in hand, the men charged at Su Heng. In response, Su Heng tapped into his extraordinary powers and commanded the little dragon. As Su Heng exerted his influence, the dragon began emitting a mesmerizing purple aura, instilling fear in the hearts of the men. Realizing the unusual power possessed by Su Heng, the men cautioned their boss about the strange sensations they felt, advising caution in their approach. Suddenly, three officers arrived at the scene, shouting, "Hey, what's going on here?" The presence of security officers startled the men, causing them to become apprehensive. One of the men whispered to his companion, suggesting that they allow the authorities to intervene and arrest Su Heng, as it would provide them with an opportunity for negotiation. The man claimed to have connections with a nearby security team and promised to have them detain Su Heng as a priority. Glancing at Su Heng, the man remarked, "Once he's locked up in the custody room, we can deal with him. I'll make sure he can't use any tricks." As he stared at Su Heng and Su Yuan, a blush crept onto his face. In his thoughts, he planned to personally target Su Yuan, intending to make a move on her right in front of her brother once they had incapacitated Su Heng. The security team arrived on the scene, and one of the officers recognized Su Heng, exclaiming, "Hey, isn't that Su Heng? What's happening here?" Sensing the tension, one of the men swiftly approached the security officer and claimed that Su Heng, whom they referred to as a troublemaker, had callously and cruelly killed his two beloved dogs in public. The leader of the security team instructed his subordinates to promptly arrest Su Heng and take him into custody. He specifically ordered two guards to apprehend him. The guards approached Su Heng and sternly conveyed, "How dare you kill Sheliku's dogs? You better surrender peacefully. Don't make us resort to force against you." The two officers confront and move forward to apprehend Su Heng. Su Heng tosses down the brick he used to dispatch the dogs, placing it before the officers. He confidently states that the brick is the one responsible for killing the dog, inviting any further inquiries to be directed to the brick's owner. The officer's fury ignites, leading them to exclaim, "You dare to perpetrate violence on the streets and display such insolence. Once you're confined to the detention room, you'll understand how far from comfortable it truly is. Stick your head out." In an instant, the two officers become aware of a petted dragon with radiant red eyes, prompting shock and fear to grip them. They quickly realize that it is a creature trained for taming. Su Heng presents his identification card to the officers, urging them to open their damn eyes and recognize the significance of the card. Su Heng displays his identification card to the officers, leaving them trembling with fear and disbelief as they recognize their blunder. Hastily, they report the incident to their superior, who becomes aware of the prevailing rumors circulating among higher-ranking officials. It has been rumored that the leader has recently taken on a new disciple. Could it be that this very person stands before them? The officers promptly holstered their firearms. The boss fires a single shot into the air, forcefully pointing his gun at the three bullies and shouts, Ku Zhengtian, how dare you engage in confrontations and release dogs onto the streets? This is absolutely unacceptable. With unwavering authority, the boss orders his fellow officers to immediately handcuff Ku Zhengtian, cautioning that any resistance will be met with severe consequences. The officers proceed to handcuff the bullies who unleash screams of protest. Captain Zheng, I am the one who's been victimized here. You've mistaken the situation. You are Captain Zheng. My father is Ku Dingquan, the warehouse supervisor of Plantation No. 5. Zheng Jun, I have granted you privileges. Enraged, the boss throws a punch at the shouting bully and declares he actually dares to resist arrest. He swiftly commands the other officers to restrain him. Turning to Su Heng, the boss offers a sincere apology and states, Lord Su, this contemptible individual had the audacity to release dogs. Thankfully, your courageous intervention prevented a potential disaster. Su Heng extends his gratitude to the boss, commending him and his team for their swift handling of the case. This praise gratifies the boss, who responds, I have these 3 individuals firmly in my grasp. Even if they manage to survive, they will endure significant suffering. Are you satisfied, Lord Su? Su Heng responds, barely, and regardless of whether this individual is dead or alive in your custody, I will undoubtedly find him once he is released. He then turns to his sister and states, let's go, sis. It's over. We should return home. Su Yuan's face flushes and she tightly holds her brother's hand, saying, let's go home. As Su Heng and Su Yuan depart, the boss addresses his officers, brothers, what's worse? Offending a plantation supervisor or earning the wrath of a tamer? The officers promptly reply, no need to deliberate. We must certainly avoid offending a tamer. Otherwise, as insignificant individuals, we won't even grasp how we met our end. The boss acknowledges their response and commends, well said, Xiao Jun. The boss issues a command, go to the team and swiftly procure a carriage. Lao Dong and I will await here. Later, we will transport all 3 of them to the garbage incineration plant. The bullies, who are handcuffed and seated at the side of the road, tremble with fear upon hearing these words. Back at home, Su Yuan is filled with happiness and exclaims, this is wonderful. I never imagined we would be able to return to this place one day. It feels like a dream. Su Heng cautions, let's not get too carried away. Here, take these keys to the house. Sis, reclaiming our old home is just the first step. Our future will only get better and better. Su Yuan's joy amplifies upon hearing these words. Su Heng, Su Yuan, and the little dragon intertwine their hands just as they are startled by a loud knock on the door. Su Heng and Su Yuan were sitting at home discussing their plans when they heard a knock on the door. Su Heng, accompanied by his dragon, opened the door and asked who it was. A man stood in front of them and introduced himself as Deputy Director Gu from the Plantation Management Office. Su Yuan approached the door and recognized Deputy Director Gu. She asked if there was anything she could do to assist him. Deputy Director Gu informed them that he had received news from the security team regarding an offense committed by Ku Dingquan's son against Lord Su. He expressed his willingness to help and proposed transferring Ku Dingquan to the plantation to work as an ordinary farmer. Although the area is known for wild beasts and frequent incidents, Deputy Director Gu believed that Ku Dingquan's experience as a supervisor would enable him to adapt. Deputy Director Gu turned to Su Heng and asked if he was satisfied with this decision. Su Heng agreed, and the director appreciated his cooperation. Su Yuan asked if her presence was suitable, to which the director responded enthusiastically, stating that she is Lord Su's sister and naturally suitable. He assured her that if she encountered any problems, she could come and find him anytime. Su Yuan expressed her respectful obedience to the director's orders. Meanwhile, Su Heng petted his dragon, perched on his shoulder, contemplating how becoming stronger would grant them more privileges. He brought out a big bucket of rice that glowed with a green aura and poured it into a bowl. Su Heng called his dragon to come and have another bite, explaining that it was a special recipe from his teacher designed to help it grow stronger. He encouraged the dragon to eat and become stronger. However, the dragon became scared upon seeing the big bowl of rice. Su Heng pondered whether it could be an issue with the ingredients when he suddenly remembered the old dragon snake manual. Summoning the manual, he learned that when dragon snakes hatch, they give out the shells of taming pet eggs and can go without food for a long time. As a combination of earth dragon and evil types, the feeding formula for dragon snakes required emphasis and could not be evenly distributed. Additionally, dragon snakes had a picky taste and preferred live prey. Su Heng realized the problem and reassured the dragon that he would get a new formula. He excitedly exclaimed that he could collect it from his teacher every month, but it would cost a significant amount of money. He encouraged the dragon to eat with peace of mind, enjoy the best food, and grow up quickly. The dragon became excited, responding to Su Heng's words. In the following days, Su Heng raised the dragon snake according to the formula in the old dragon snake manual, always buying freshly caught fish and shrimp. The dragon thoroughly enjoyed it, but this led to a problem. Within just 5 days, Su Heng's coin was almost depleted. However, despite emptying his pockets, at least the dragon snake had surpassed its juvenile stage and entered the growth stage. Su Heng contemplated how the current dragon snake could easily defeat the evil dogs that were once a challenge for them. With its significant growth, Su Heng believed that ordinary people without hot weapons would be unable to pose a threat. His teacher had mentioned that once the dragon's snake entered the growth stage, they should go to the castle and find him. Su Heng acknowledged that even if 3 or 5 ordinary adult men with weapons were to face the dragon's snake, they would be killed instantly. He marveled at how it had entered the growth stage in just 5 short days, recognizing the extraordinary nature of the formulas in the old dragon snake manual. Realizing the importance of keeping this secret, Su Heng exclaimed that they must be cautious and not expose their discovery. He emphasized that their focus should now be on training the dragon's snake, developing its abilities and becoming proficient in its skills. After 10 days, Su Heng and his dragon, which had grown significantly in size, arrived at the door of the castle lord's residence. They were warmly welcomed inside, and the castle lord expressed surprise at their absence, questioning whether they had neglected their duties. Su Heng explained that he had been fully devoted to nurturing the dragon's snake, which had prevented him from attending his daily training at the castle. He proudly declared that by diligently following the teacher's instructions for feeding and cultivation, the dragon's snake had successfully entered the growth stage. The castle lord was astonished by the rapid growth of the dragon and praised its exceptional combat abilities and extraordinary talent for development. He compared it to Bai Su's iced lotus pond, noting that it had taken her a whole month to transition from the larval stage to the early growth stage. The castle lord called Su Heng forward, emphasizing that Bai Su's iced lotus pond was an advanced and dangerous species 2 levels lower than Su Heng's dragon snake. The castle lord then mentioned that now that the dragon had reached the growth stage, it should be familiar with the use of its abilities. He asked Su Heng if the dragon had awakened any abilities. Su Heng proudly replied that the dragon had awakened to the first level and possessed 2 abilities: Dragon Power, Intimidation, and Dragon Tremor. Furthermore, the Nefarious Breath had also awakened to the first level, manifesting as the Nefarious Breath, Nefarious Bullet. The castle lord was taken aback by Su Heng's rapid progress in such a short period and praised him for refining the dragon's abilities to such an impressive extent. Meanwhile, Su Heng secretly breathed a sigh of relief, realizing that he had been fortunate, not to mention the additional techniques he had recently acquired. These included Dragon Force, Earth Spear Sacrifice, as well as the Dragon's Slumber and Nefarious Assault techniques, which he had comprehended on the rooftop the previous night. Following that, the castle lord extended an invitation to Su Heng and his dragon, urging them to accompany him to his private training ground to witness their progress firsthand. Upon their arrival, the castle lord and Su Heng, accompanied by his dragon, faced each other. The castle lord instructed Su Heng to demonstrate the dragon snake's abilities, stating that if its performance proves satisfactory, he would reward Su Heng with an imprint item. Recognizing that the dragon snake's increased size must pose challenges for Su Heng, the castle lord emphasized the importance of a skilled beast tamer having a convenient imprint item at their disposal. The castle lord proceeded to summon a formidable armor rock bear lord from his ring and commanded it to engage in play with the dragon. The sight of the massive bear startled both Su Heng and his dragon, causing Su Heng to involuntarily scream. Unable to contain his curiosity, Su Heng questioned the castle lord about the numerous terrifying beast pets he possessed, as each summoning seemed to be different. Amidst laughter, the castle lord reassured Su Heng, explaining that he didn't possess weak beast pets but rather controlled a limited number of terrifying species amounting to only around a dozen or so. He further clarified that creatures like the thick armor rock bear lord and the magma rampage dragon were even more scarce, with only half as many in his possession. Feeling nervous, Su Heng and his dragon prepared themselves for the challenge, understanding that in order to earn the imprint item they needed to display their strength. The beastly bear let out a thunderous roar, causing Su Heng and the dragon to stagger backward. However, in response, the dragon's power of intimidation was triggered. The castle lord was impressed to witness the dragon withstand the imposing pressure exerted by a fully evolved creature in its growth stage. The castle lord then commanded the bear to unleash the Nefarious Breath and evaluate the outcome of Su Heng's training. Su Heng prepared himself to confront his teacher, the castle lord. With commanding authority, he ordered his dragon to seize the opportunity. The dragon, a serpent-like lizard, released a stream of wicked thoughts, unleashing a volley of malevolent breath projectiles. Charging a purple orb within its mouth, the dragon took aim at the bear and unleashed its attack. However, the bear remained unfazed by the dragon's onslaught. Mocking Su Heng, the teacher asked if he had yet to satisfy his hunger and offered a handful of grains. Undeterred, Su Heng issued another command to his dragon, urging it to exhale with malice and unleash a relentless barrage of evil breath bullets. The dragon gathered its power and unleashed an unyielding onslaught of purple orbs upon the bear. Finally, the persistent assault managed to shatter the bear's stone armor, leaving the castle lord astonished. The castle lord was genuinely impressed by Su Heng's extraordinary performance. He recognized Su Heng's skill in releasing the evil breath bullets, silently showcasing his mastery of malevolent thoughts. The castle lord praised Su Heng's ability to utilize the adhesive nature of evil energy, allowing for consecutive and precise shots of evil breath bullets. He congratulated Su Heng warmly for his accomplishments. Although flattered by the castle lord's admiration, Su Heng acknowledged that his current level of attack might not be sufficient to break through Xiang Zhen's defense. He mentioned another technique called chain shots, which could deliver a sweeping attack that the enemy couldn't dodge. In appreciation of Su Heng's progress, the castle lord presented him with a control ring even without the flame talisman. Although the ring had several empty spaces, it had a total of 5 slots. The castle lord explained that Su Heng could house up to 5 control beasts in the ring, and jokingly added that even 10 beasts would be enough if they were willing to squeeze in. Su Heng expressed his gratitude for the castle lord's generosity. However, the castle lord reminded him that although his skill development was commendable, his combat experience was almost zero. The castle lord emphasized that engaging in actual combat was the best way to gain valuable experience. Therefore, he decided to send Su Heng to the northern defense line where he would face dangerous creatures and have ample opportunities to test his abilities. The castle lord instructed Su Heng to report to the military headquarters within 3 days, where he would be assigned his tasks. The Black Gathering Place had 4 defense lines outside the high walls guarding the entire area. Each defense unit consisted of sturdy fortresses, trainers, powerful weapons, and soldiers. The southern and northern defense lines were the most dangerous, engaging in battles with dangerous creatures almost every day. Most of the materials related to dangerous organisms in the city were obtained from the hunting results of these 4 main defense lines. Within 3 days, Su Heng received an advance of his next month's trainer allowance, totaling 250,000 grams of steel. More than half of it was exchanged for dragon, snake, lizard ingredients. It took a full 3 days to process all the ingredients into preserved formulaic food. Under the arrangement of the Outer Fort military headquarters, Su Heng was assigned to Outpost Number 7 in the north as a team member. As Su Heng traveled in a truck, he contemplated that the 4 defense lines of the Black Gathering Place were primarily established to support the plantations in the wilderness. The limited land area within the Gathering Place couldn't meet the consumption needs of 50 to 60,000 people, necessitating the defense lines. The work in the plantations outside the city was considered second only to joining the search teams in terms of danger, as it was responsible for the safety zone within the northern defense line. When the truck dropped Su Heng off, the driver informed him that this was Outpost Number 7 and wished him the best of luck before leaving. The people at the outpost were surprised to see that Su Heng was personally escorted by the chief of staff, and they recognized him as a trainer upon seeing the beast feed on the cart. The guys at the outpost rushed to help Su Heng and advise him not to handle such trivial matters personally. They assisted him in unloading the beast feed from the truck. One of the guys introduced himself as Xie Huang, and they expressed their reliance on Su Heng's support. Upon reaching the outpost, Su Heng is greeted by the workers who offer to assist with unloading the beast feed. However, Su Heng politely instructs them not to be overly formal, considering that they are older than him. Instead, he decides to address one of the workers as Brother Huang from that moment forward. Brother Huang becomes visibly touched by Su Heng's humble attitude, expressing that he has never encountered a trainer who lacks arrogance like Su Heng. Inspired by this camaraderie, Brother Huang calls out to the others at the outpost, urging them to work diligently and swiftly in order to complete the relocation. He promises that once the task is finished, they will gather together to celebrate the accomplishments of Sir Su Heng. There are a total of 29 guard posts along the northern defensive line, and Su Heng has been assigned to guard post number 7 in the north. Over 10 years ago, this very location was reduced to ruins by a passing terrifying creature, and no one survived at the guard post. The current guard post number 7 has been reconstructed atop those ruins, and this is where Su Heng will be stationed, fighting for the foreseeable future. Taking a seat, Su Heng is joined by Brother Huang, who brings a bowl of noodles and proudly declares that Su Heng must taste Ah Wen's craftsmanship. Despite their limited resources, Ah Wen's culinary skills are exceptional, and he serves the noodles to Su Heng. Su Heng insists that Brother Huang should address him by his name, as they are comrades, and using Sir Su feels awkward. In response, Brother Huang suggests calling him Brother Su since he is a distinguished trainer. Su Heng agrees, and they both go about their own business. During lunch, Su Heng asks the guys if they frequently encounter dangerous creatures in the area. One of them explains that although they are situated in the middle of the entire defense system, the pressure of defense is lower compared to the outer perimeter. However, they still come across many stragglers that manage to get through. He shows Su Heng a pile of dangerous creatures they hunted down in the past few days. The guys mention that every month an officer from the city arrives with a convoy to transport and reward them for their military merits. Su Heng is impressed by their accomplishments without the use of beasts. Excitedly, one of the guys asks Su Heng about the kind of beasts he commands and requests him to show a few. Brother Huang scolds the guys, reprimanding them for their disrespectful manners. Su Heng summons his dragon, which surprises the guys as they realize it is a top-level dangerous species. Su Heng introduces his dragon to everyone, and one of the guys expresses amazement that it is Su Heng's first commanded beast and that it is incredibly powerful. The dragon briefly demonstrates its powers to the guys, but Su Heng stops it, reminding the dragon not to use its skills on their own comrades as it is impolite. The guys share a laugh about how they initially got scared upon seeing the imposing dragon. After the meal, Su Heng gets acquainted with the 5 brothers at the guard post. Following some rest, Su Heng begins practicing the mind refinement technique as guided by his teacher. The technique, called the crystal breathing technique, consists of 3 steps. First, eliminating distracting thoughts and building the crystal underworld by visualizing oneself meditating as a vast crystal. Next, synchronizing the mind with the meditation environment through a specific breathing rhythm, gradually merging the mind with the surroundings. Finally, the core of the refinement technique is the refinement of the mind itself. Su Heng realizes that at the current pace, it would likely take about half a year to achieve the crystal clear mind crystal that his teacher mentioned. Comparing it to senior sister Bai Su, who refined her mind crystal into a translucent state in just over a month, Su Heng considers her exceptional radiant like moonlight. Suddenly, Su Heng hears an alarm and Brother Huang rushes in, informing him that something is happening. As the alarm blares across the outpost, Su Heng springs into action, rushing outside to aid in repelling the attacking monsters. He quickly grabs his binoculars and scans the outskirts of the outpost, where he spots a swarm of ant-like creatures in flight. Su Heng immediately recognizes them as the Reaper Quick Armor, a species known for their secondary danger level. He informs Brother Huang about their presence and warns him that these creatures possess incredible strength, capable of effortlessly swinging their scythes and slicing through solid materials like bricks. Su Heng observes that the creatures appear to have reached their mature stage, indicating an increased level of danger. Brother Huang provides additional information, explaining that the Reaper Quick Armor is a relatively common dangerous creature found along the northern defense line. Being an insect-type secondary dangerous species, they possess a strong reproductive capacity. Despite this, Brother Huang reassures Su Heng that dealing with 4 of these creatures shouldn't pose a significant challenge. Taking charge, Brother Huang swiftly issues commands to his officers, organizing them for the upcoming battle. He assigns himself and Old Yu to man the lookout tower and the machine gun position. On is designated to the northwest sniper position, while Xiao Hu and Xiao Lu are instructed to guard the ground floor, shooting holes numbered 5 and 6 respectively. Brother Huang formulates a strategy, assigning Owen and Huafu the task of eliminating the 3 mature creatures, while leaving the young one for Su Heng to handle. The objective is crystal clear: to swiftly eliminate the immediate threat posed by the attacking monsters. As the battle begins, the team unleashes a relentless barrage of gunfire upon the ant creatures. However, to everyone's astonishment, the creatures activate their armor shields, effectively deflecting all the bullets. Unfazed, Brother Huang persists, continuously firing rounds from the machine gun in an effort to weaken the shield. The unyielding assault gradually takes its toll on the ant monster's defense, causing the shield to weaken. Sensing an opening, another officer seizes the opportunity, taking aim with precision and delivering a well-placed shot that cleanly obliterates the monster's head. The team erupts in cheers, celebrating their victorious elimination of one of the creatures. Su Heng attentively watches the officers in action and recognizes that despite not being beastmasters themselves, their experience and collective synergy, honed through numerous battles, allow them to display remarkable combat prowess. Working together seamlessly, they skillfully dispatch 2 more monsters. However, their focus is interrupted by one creature managing to slip away, eluding their grasp. They swiftly acknowledge its retreat, understanding that the battle is far from over. Driven by determination, they prepare to pursue and capture the remaining creature before it can inflict any more damage. Brother Huang assumes command once again, directing Xiao Hu to join him and Su Heng in confronting the remaining creature. They quickly reach a jeep equipped with a mounted machine gun on top. Brother Huang takes the driver's seat, with Su Heng seated beside him, while Xiao Hu operates the machine gun. With their vehicle prepared and their weapons ready, they embark on the pursuit of the fleeing creature. The jeep roars to life as they chase their target, resolute in their mission to ensure its defeat and safeguard the outpost from further threats. As they draw nearer to the escaping monster, Brother Huang skillfully maneuvers the jeep, encircling the creature before coming to a halt directly in its path. Su Heng promptly exits the vehicle, confronting the towering and menacing ant monster head-on. The creature stands defiantly poised for an imminent attack. Aware of the potential danger posed by their adversary, Brother Huang issues a reminder to Xiao Hu, emphasizing the need for unwavering vigilance. He stresses the significance of staying alert, as individuals encountered in the inner city area often possess formidable backgrounds. Brother Huang urges Xiao Hu to maintain sharp senses, leaving no room for anything to elude their attention. With their focus heightened, they brace themselves to confront the monster with unwavering determination, united in their mission to safeguard themselves and the outpost from any additional harm. Seated beside the officer in the vehicle, Su Heng comes face to face with a solitary ant monster. Filled with curiosity about the creature's strength, Su Heng quickly formulates a plan to launch a surprise attack. Activating his ring, he summons a mighty dragon that materializes with astonishing speed, hurtling towards the monster. Despite the monster's defensive shield, the dragon unleashes its immense power, effortlessly shattering the shield in a seamless motion. Maintaining its momentum, the dragon collides head-on with the creature, momentarily pushing it backward and causing it to topple onto its back. However, to Su Heng's surprise, it becomes evident that the monster's armor-cover state significantly reduces the impact of the attack, allowing it to emerge from the encounter relatively unscathed. The formidable defense provided by the armor cover proves to be a formidable obstacle for Su Heng and his dragon, highlighting the need for a more strategic approach to overcome the resilient ant monster. Upon receiving Su Heng's command, the dragon swiftly complies, unleashing a relentless onslaught of mind-devouring bullets with remarkable precision. The dragon charges its orbs with immense energy and launches a continuous assault against the monster. However, Su Heng's hopes are quickly dashed as the monster skillfully defends itself, effortlessly blocking each of the dragon's attacks with its formidable shield. The monster's shield proves to be remarkably resilient, presenting a significant challenge for Su Heng and the dragon alike. As tension mounts, the monster's presence becomes increasingly menacing, evident from its ominous red glow that foreshadows an imminent counterattack. Recognizing the impending danger, Su Heng swiftly commands the dragon to unleash a breathtaking display of its awe-inspiring power, aiming to counter the imminent threat and turn the tide of the battle. Upon receiving the command, the dragon charges forward, exuding an aura of overwhelming intimidation that instills fear in the creature's core. With a graceful sweep of its wings, the dragon executes a precise and clean arc, slicing through a portion of the monster's head with remarkable accuracy. Gripped by fear, the monster desperately tries to retreat and flee from the battle. However, Su Heng quickly intervenes, issuing a firm command to the dragon. Demonstrating unwavering loyalty, the dragon executes a powerful maneuver known as the ground spear sacrifice. Slamming its front legs forcefully onto the ground, the dragon shatters the earth in its path, causing sharp spikes to erupt and impale the fleeing monster, effectively preventing its escape. Brother Huang and Xiao Hu are left in awe, witnessing the extraordinary powers displayed by Su Heng and the dragon. Nervously, Xiao Hu remarks to Brother Huang that it seems Su Heng is more than capable of handling the situation without their assistance. Brother Huang agrees, acknowledging the overwhelming display of power by Su Heng and admitting his own unease at the swift destruction of the monster. As they make their way back to the outpost, Xiao Hu eagerly shares the tale of their encounter with the other officers, his voice brimming with excitement. With unwavering enthusiasm, he recounts every detail of the event, ensuring that nothing is left untold. Meanwhile, Brother Huang takes a moment to approach Su Heng. Reflecting on his initial perception of Su Heng as nothing more than a flashy trainee beastmaster, he openly expresses his admiration and amazement. Brother Huang sincerely acknowledges his newfound respect for Su Heng, emphasizing his belief that Su Heng is truly exceptional and no longer just a superficial presence. Feeling a hint of nervousness, Su Heng praises everyone for their exceptional performance. Just as the tension begins to subside, Xiao Hu rushes in, informing them about the presence of an approaching force. Intrigued by the news, Brother Huang and Su Heng decide to investigate, stepping outside to see for themselves. To their astonishment, they behold a fleet of vehicles forming a vast army making its way into the outpost. Brother Huang finds this situation peculiar, since during the regular inventory checks conducted by the command headquarters, they usually send one sentinel post after another, with their arrival expected around noon. The early arrival of the vehicles today raises questions about the reason behind this deviation from the usual routine. The army of vehicles from the command headquarters arrives at the outpost, and Su Heng senses familiarity as he recognizes one of the individuals stepping out of the vehicles. Lu Ling, the commander of the Northern Defense Line, emerges from one of the vehicles. Sporting sunglasses and a cigarette in his mouth, he exudes a cool demeanor. Brother Huang and his officers warmly welcome Lu Ling, who greets them and remarks that Huang Chengzhu remains unchanged after all these years. Overwhelmed with emotion, Brother Huang tearfully expresses his disbelief that the commander still remembers his name, acknowledging the considerable journey Lu Ling must have undertaken to reach this place. In response, Lu Ling dismisses the significance of the journey, stating that it took no more than 10 minutes to arrive at the main site. Noticing Su Heng, Lu Ling approaches and greets him, inquiring about his adjustment to life in the outpost. Su Heng respectfully reciprocates the greeting, saluting the commander and assuring him that he has adapted well to his new surroundings. Lu Ling encourages Su Heng not to be overly formal, revealing that their teacher has spoken highly of him on numerous occasions. The commander even praises Su Heng as an exceptional and talented disciple. Lu Ling then mentions that he heard from the chief of staff that Su Heng failed to meet him upon his arrival at the command center. Recalling a previous encounter where Lu Ling missed meeting Su Heng due to his duty to eliminate a group of ignorant adversaries, the commander made a special trip this time to see Su Heng. The officers are astounded to learn that the commander visited this small sentry post solely because of Su Heng. Brother Huang, who initially considered Su Heng an ordinary beastmaster, is pleasantly surprised to discover that he is the direct disciple of the castle lord, having made no major mistakes during his time here. The commander instructs the officers to cease loitering and to assess the progress of the sentry post over the past half-month. He requests that they refrain from interrupting his conversation with Su Heng. Turning his attention back to Su Heng, the commander asks him to summon his dragon as their teacher, has assigned him the task of inspecting Su Heng's progress and reporting it back. Su Heng, who assumed that the teacher would forget about the request when he left the city, is surprised to realize that there is even a spy keeping an eye on him. Following the commander's command, Su Heng summons his dragon. The commander is taken aback by the dragon's significant growth, questioning Su Heng if the dragon has only been hatched for less than a month. Feigning ignorance, Su Heng suggests that the dragon's rapid growth is due to its battles against larger opponents while subtly glancing at the commander. Nervously, the commander downplays the significance and compares Su Heng's dragon to a previously raised one by his senior brother, which was even larger. The commander informs Su Heng that, as per their teacher's request, he needs to assess the combat prowess of Su Heng's dragon. Furthermore, the commander reveals that he happens to possess a dragon-type mount and suggests testing the strength of their respective dragons. Summoning his dragon from his ring, the commander presents the Rhinoceros Earth Dragon, a perilous species combining earth and dragon elements. Notably, it holds the same race level as the dragon snake lizard, both being top-level dangerous species. For cultivation, the commander has fully evolved it to a super dangerous level, endowing it with formidable durability. It can withstand attacks from late-stage junior terrifying species for a considerable duration. The commander's dragon is of substantial size, causing both Su Heng and his dragon to become apprehensive and nervous. Sensing their unease, Su Heng requests the commander to go easy on his dragon. Reassuringly, the commander promises that his dragon will show restraint. Su Heng agrees to engage in the battle, prompting the commander to command his dragon to employ an Earth Stomp. Impressed by the powers of the Rhinoceros Earth Dragon, Su Heng commands his dragon to launch a sneak attack and swiftly move out of the range of the Earth Stomp. Su Heng's dragon promptly lifts him into the air, evading the incoming attack. Su Heng and the commander engage in a fierce battle alongside their dragons. As the commander's dragon launches an attack on Su Heng's dragon, it swiftly lifts Su Heng and ascends, evading the incoming strikes. Su Heng commands his dragon to retaliate against the Rhinoceros Earth Dragon with a barrage of Evil Mind bullets. Su Heng's dragon gathers its power and unleashes a torrent of purple orbs towards the rhinoceros, but to their dismay, the rhinoceros remains unharmed. While the dragons continue their intense fight, Su Heng realizes that expecting the dragon snake lizard to overcome the Rhinoceros Earth Dragon is nothing more than wishful thinking. Nevertheless, he is determined to demonstrate the growth of the dragon snake lizard during this time and not let down their teacher, who is observing from a gathering point miles away. Responding to Su Heng's command, his dragon exploits its speed advantage and initiates a flanking maneuver, launching a relentless barrage of attacks. With lightning-fast speed, the dragon charges at the rhinoceros, delivering swift strikes. It swiftly ascends above the rhinoceros, charges a potent purple orb, and hurls it at the target. The rhinoceros sustains some minor wounds from the powerful attack. Taking advantage of the terrain, Su Heng commands his dragon to tap into its earth power, absorbing the surrounding energy to replenish its own strength. The dragon absorbs the Earth's energy, revitalizing itself and preparing for the next phase of the battle. As Su Heng's dragon replenishes its powers, a vibrant green glow envelops its form. Su Heng, determined to turn the tide, commands his dragon to unleash its ultimate technique, the Dragon Might Earth Spear Festival. With a powerful stomp, the dragon creates a tremendous shockwave, aiming to overwhelm the Rhinoceros Earth Dragon. However, to Su Heng's surprise, the rhinoceros senses the incoming attack and effortlessly counters with its own formidable powers. The Rhinoceros' evolved abilities, now at level 9, prove too advanced for the Dragon Might Earth Spear Festival to withstand. The force of the counterattack throws Su Heng's dragon off balance, causing it to crash onto its back. The commander explains that while Su Heng's tactics were commendable, the Rhinoceros' evolved abilities made it all too easy to break through the defenses of the Earth Spear Festival. Disappointed, Su Heng explains to the commander that he followed his instructions to use every means necessary to impress their teacher. The commander admits that he underestimated Su Heng, but now has a better understanding of the dragon snake lizard's strength. The commander is highly impressed and believes their teacher will be amazed. The growth and evolution speed of Su Heng's dragon snake lizard far surpasses that of the senior brother in the past. Their teacher has truly found an exceptional junior disciple among them. Shortly after the departure of the commander, winter arrives. Inside the outpost, the cold is unusually harsh. Without tall city walls like those in the gathering point to shield them from the biting winter winds blowing from the north, and lacking electrical appliances or heating facilities, their only solace seems to be their sleeping bags. While sleeping in their sleeping bags, one of the officers wonders when such a cold day will come to an end, as winter has just begun. Suddenly, they hear an alarm and an officer rush into the room, informing them that a group of dangerous species has invaded the plantation within the outpost area. Brother Huang and Xiao Hu decide to respond immediately to the summons from the outpost, and Brother Huang instructs the others to stay behind and guard the house. As they travel in their vehicle, Brother Huang reveals that according to Captain Lai, the situation is extremely critical, and the plantation has been completely overrun. There are more than sub-level dangerous species and at least 5 low-level dangerous species inside the plantation. All the people in the plantation are trapped in the staff dormitory. They are currently holding on with a few rifles distributed by the security department, but it's only a matter of time before the dangerous species break through. They plan to gather reinforcements from outposts in the northern section, as well as the main forces mobilized by the 2 outposts at the plantation. Brother Huang commands Xiao Hu to complete the assembly before 4 o'clock in the morning and launch the attack precisely at 4 o'clock. They arrive at Plantation No. 25 with the officers accompanying Brother Huang. Brother Huang and the other officers swiftly arrive at Plantation No. 25 in their vehicles. The guard on duty directs them to promptly assume their combat positions and assures them that he will relay all necessary information through the radio frequency. Brother Huang and the officers acknowledge the instructions and listen attentively to the radio transmission in their vehicle. They learn that the officers stationed at Plantation 25 have already conducted a thorough survey of the area. Shockingly, the monstrous creatures have demolished the northwest side wall number 6 and are currently ravaging the grain area, feasting upon the lifeless bodies of the plantation staff. The remaining personnel have been relocated to the employee shelters for their protection and defense. Brother Huang and the officer rendezvous with the other vehicles at the outpost. They receive orders to arrange the vehicles in a spearhead formation. 2 armored vehicles are designated as the spearhead, tasked with leading the charge towards the plantation dormitory building and engaging the enemy with gunfire. The vehicle's radio crackles, broadcasting an urgent message: pay close attention. The current invaders are a pack of venomous, decayed wolves. They possess formidable resilience, so prioritize headshots. Swiftly eradicate the hostile creatures and rescue the trapped personnel. The tanks unleash a barrage of fire upon the monstrous wolves, obliterating them. Amidst the chaos, Su Heng and Brother Huang become aware of a substantial horde of wolf creatures charging towards them. Su Heng swiftly commands Xiao Hu to decelerate the vehicle and create a safe distance. Concerned Brother Huang inquires if something is amiss, to which Su Heng reveals that he had heard an eerie howl earlier. Species as dangerous as the toxic rotten wolves possess a slim possibility of evolving into an ultimate leader, albeit highly unlikely. An unsettling sensation permeates the air, signaling that something is gravely awry. As Su Heng observes the wolves retreating, he cautions Xiao Hu to exercise vigilance, pondering what the wolves have in store. Abruptly, a wolf with large glowing red eyes emerges atop a cliff, unleashing a sinister smog of dark power. Poisonous mist materializes out of thin air, enveloping the vicinity and instilling panic among the officers. Through the radio, commands are issued for the vehicles to activate infrared targeting systems, remain alert, and exercise caution to prevent inadvertently harming their fellow comrades. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Su Heng swiftly orders Xiao Hu to retreat, aware that the impending danger is far from simple. Meanwhile, Brother Huang's attention is caught by a massive wolf hurtling towards one of the vehicles, leaping upon it and tearing off a section. With relentless force, the wolf flips the vehicle over, preparing to launch a vicious assault. Su Heng's realization dawns upon him. The wolf is a shadow companion, an indicator of the toxic rotten wolf leader's unique ability known as companionship. This revelation signifies the presence of another formidable leader. Charging relentlessly, the wolf now targets them directly, colliding with their vehicle, shattering the window glass upon impact. The vehicle slides back with the force of the wolf's slam. Brother Huang takes out an assault rifle and starts shooting at the wolf, but his bullets cannot penetrate its armor. The wolf charges at the vehicle again, breaking off another piece, and Su Heng is surprised. He summons his dragon, which uses its intimidation power to confront the wolf. The dragon charges its bullet-rapid firepower and shoots at the wolf, finally killing it with a powerful blast that blows his head clean off. Su Heng contacts the commander on the radio and requests a ceasefire to avoid friendly fire. He volunteers to deal with the toxic rotten wolf leader. The officer at the outpost observes Su Heng through his binoculars and acknowledges that he is the Baoju's direct disciple. It is impressive to witness such combat power from an apprentice Yushi. The officer expresses gratitude to Su Heng for the fire support, but advises him to leave the toxic rotten wolf leader to him. Su Heng, accompanied by his dragon, leaps down from the damaged vehicle, determined to confront the remaining monsters. The other officers bravely advance to engage the remaining creatures, but soon realize that the poisonous mist is too dense to navigate through. They begin their search for the leader, a toxic rotten wolf. Brother Huang points out to Su Heng that the formidable wolf is attacking a nearby tank. With ease, the wolf mercilessly smashes the tank, forcing the driver to hastily escape in a bid to save their life. Su Heng swiftly arrives at the scene and issues a command to his dragon, instructing it to execute a surprise attack. The dragon charges towards the wolf, aiming for its neck and forcefully throwing it back with its immense power. However, the resilient wolf quickly rises to its feet, seething with anger. Meanwhile, the tank driver, grateful to Su Heng for saving his life, fails to notice the wolf's resurgence. Su-heng urgently tries to warn the driver to flee, but before he can react, the wolf brutally kills him, leaving both Su-heng and the dragon in a state of shock. Consumed by anger, Su-heng commands his dragon to execute the Earth Spear sacrifice. With a forceful slam onto the ground, the dragon generates a potent shockwave directed at the toxic rotten wolf. However, the crafty wolf employs its enlightened power Shadow Assault, swiftly evading the dragon's attack. Recognizing an opening for a counterattack, Su-heng seizes the opportunity and orders Xiaohu to engage the wolf with heavy firepower, as it is now beyond the reach of the convoy's range. Brother Huang and Xiaohu unleash a relentless barrage of bullets, showering the wolf with a hail of firepower, diverting its attention. Capitalizing on the distraction, the dragon charges at the wolf, sinking its teeth into its neck. Sensing the wolf's impending escape, Su-heng swiftly commands the dragon to unleash its awe-inspiring power. Soaring above the wolf, the dragon channels its intimidating might. With its claws extended, it hurtles towards the wolf from above, striking a devastating fatal blow. After the battle, Xiaohu, Brother Huang, and Su-heng ride back in the vehicle, but Su-heng appears visibly downcast. Concerned, Brother Huang inquires about his state of mind. Brother Huang explains that based on past conventions, the mobilization of Yoshi support is usually not necessary for invasions involving such dangerous species on such a large scale. Without Su-heng's assistance, the casualties incurred would have doubled. He expresses heartfelt gratitude to Su-heng for his invaluable help and proceeds to reveal a scar he acquired during his first participation in a plantation support battle. That particular battle was even more treacherous, resulting in the loss of over 50 lives and leaving many injured. An armored vehicle had been completely decimated by a mature, highly dangerous creature known as the Golden-backed Steel Arm Ape, reducing the crew members to a gruesome fate. Ultimately, it was Senior Brother Teo, the Commander-in-Chief of the Northern Front at that time, and Su-heng's Senior Marshal, who personally intervened and defeated the beast, effectively bringing the battle to an end. In an effort to uplift Su-heng's spirits, Brother Huang offers him a drink and reminds him that uncertainty is an inherent part of life for ordinary people in these settlements. He emphasizes that it is only when they become Yoshi like Su-heng that they gain the power to shape their own destinies. However, Su-heng interrupts him, requesting Brother Huang not to dwell on those thoughts any longer. He expresses his longing for Ah Wen's cooking, diverting the conversation to a lighter topic. Su-heng reflects on the plantation support battle, acknowledging that it was his first encounter with a significant number of casualties. Despite the somber reality, he embraced his role as a true warrior. In that moment of introspection, he came to a profound realization that continuous growth and strength were essential to protecting himself and the people around him in this chaotic world. In the next month, Su-heng embarked on special training for himself and his dragon Snake Lizard, following the ancient dragon canon. The results were remarkable. Apart from increasing in size, the dragon Snake Lizard's mastery of the 3 elemental energies became stronger. Skills were developed one after another, and their effects were several times more powerful than before. The commander runs to Su-heng and tells him that he heard Su-heng participated in a plantation support battle last time, and his performance on the battlefield was excellent. The commander even specially reported and commended him. The commander tells Su-heng that he is truly valued by the teacher. Su-heng asks the commander if he wasn't the commander asked by the teacher to test every month, and wonders if it has already been a month since the commander last left. The commander says not to worry and explains that he had some free time these days, so he came over to avoid the teacher complaining later when he's too busy. Su-heng and the commander both laugh it off, and the commander asks Su-heng to summon his dragon and let the commander train it. They can catch up later. Su-heng agrees and summons his dragon. The commander is surprised to see that the dragon has grown so much and wonders if Su-heng's cultivation formula is perfect or something. Su-heng shyly says that it's not possible because he has always been using the formula given by the teacher, and maybe his dragon absorbs it better. The commander tells Su-heng to put away his dragon because, according to the teacher's instructions, once the dragon Snake Lizard reaches the mid-growth stage, his training in the Northern Front will be considered complete. The commander tells Su-heng to pack up and get ready to return to the castle to meet the teacher. The next day, at the gathering place of the Dark Lamp Training Room, Lin Fu, the castle lord's trusted steward and loyal servant, arrives. He was once the servant of Zhou, his father, a quasi-professional beastmaster proficient in spiritual forging and protection of Minxia together. Lin Fu tests Su-heng and realizes that just as the castle lord said, Su-heng was not slacking off this month. Su-heng thinks about his struggles until now, and through practice and training, he could clearly feel the growth and challenges every moment, which was much better than the 3 years of incubating and hatching the beast egg without making any progress. So he realizes that his life could not be considered tough, and the fact that the dragon Snake Lizard could be trained and cultivated to this extent has exceeded his expectations. The castle lord tells Su-heng that it also gives him more confidence in the arrangements he has for Su-heng in the future. The castle lord reveals that he is preparing Su-heng to participate in the 6th territory duel that will take place after 1 month. The 6th territory duel is held once a year, and it is a tournament jointly organized by 6 major gathering sites to compete for the opportunity to enter the Blood Forest ruins. Although it is called a duel, in reality it is a competition to explore the ruins. Su-heng asks if it's necessary to go through all the trouble to explore the ruins, but the castle lord explains that the Blood Forest ruins are completely different from the ordinary ruins that can be found everywhere in the wilderness. The external area of the Blood Forest ruins is separated by a hidden energy barrier and cannot be entered. The master of the hidden area is an incredibly powerful creature. Years ago, the 6 major gathering sites joined forces and reached an agreement with it after a fierce battle. The hidden area opens once a year for 3 human beastmasters to enter and explore. Su-heng asks if he is ready with his current strength, but the castle lord assures him not to worry. Su-heng agrees to compete for a spot. The castle lord tells Su-heng that apart from him, there will be 4 more participants, and Su-heng will get to meet them tomorrow, after which they will begin new training in the Grizzly Bear Forest. There is a large black forest known as the Gray Bear Forest that covers a tremendously wide area. It is located south of the gathering place and beyond the vast wilderness to the south. The Gray Bear Forest is home to an astonishing number of wild bears, all of them massive creatures measuring only 4 meters in length and weighing several tons. However, these bears are not considered dangerous because they are unable to harness energy. Occasionally, the bear group gives birth to astonishingly powerful, evolved individuals which have become legendary figures admired even by trainers from afar. These evolved individuals have earned a reputation for being able to calm crying infants. The castle lord is preparing for training in the Grizzly Bear Forest. Su-heng, feeling scared, asks the teacher if the Gray Bear Forest is a forbidden place. The castle lord assures Su-heng that he will understand the situation in the Grizzly Bear Forest when the time comes, but for now he advises Su-heng to go back and rest for a few days. At home, Su-heng contemplates the pre-support allowance of 250,000 grams of steel credits provided before going to the lookout post. He realizes that the allowance is almost used up and the next one won't be distributed for another half a month. While observing his dragon eating, Su-heng realizes that to maintain the current rate of growth, he needs to ensure a sufficient food supply. He also understands that relying on pre-advancing every time is not a long-term solution. Su-heng realizes that he needs to find a way to make money. As a trainer, Su-heng considers various ways to earn money. Healing-type trainers can make decent profits by treating injuries and illnesses. Plant-type trainers can obtain substantial rewards by increasing crop yields in large plantations. Water-type and electric-type trainers can also go to the resource department in the gathering place for opportunities. However, with the help of the ancient dragon, there might be even more efficient methods. Su-heng visits the Black Lantern Gathering Market and hopes to take advantage of the ancient dragon manual. However, after browsing for half a day, he doesn't find anything useful. Suddenly, he overhears a conversation about a long-term high-priced purchase of black dense fat. Su-heng goes to the shop and asks if they buy black dense fat. The shopkeeper confirms that they do, but when Su-heng asks about the purpose of buying it, the shopkeeper tells him to leave if he doesn't want to sell. Curious, Su-heng sneaks a glance at the shopkeeper's book and learns that 1 liter of black dense fat is worth 83,000 grams of steel credits. This discovery sparks an idea. According to the records in the ancient dragon manual, black dense fat can be prepared by mixing black octopus mucus, black oak tree resin, and a thickening fusion agent in a specific ratio and refining them at high temperature. Although the black dense tree that naturally produces black dense fat is already extinct, it is not a rare item in the Black Lantern Gathering Market. Su-heng realizes that as long as he can obtain the thickening fusion agent, he can succeed in this business. Su-heng starts preparing the black dense fat at home with the help of his dragon. He also learns that among the 5 bureaus and 13 locations in the Black Lantern Gathering Market, there is a special organization called the Dangerous Bioenergy Research Department. This department studies dangerous creatures and peculiar energy substances. Su-heng understands that the research department's 3 research institutes are likely the true owners who purchase a large quantity of black dense fat. Knowing the rarity and slow growth of black dense trees, Su-heng realizes that they must be cautious not to let the secrets of the ancient dragon manual be discovered. If a large quantity of black dense fat suddenly appears in the black market, it will surely attract attention from higher authorities. To handle the situation, Su-heng decides that the best approach is to find a store that can handle the goods, sell them at a discount, and then make a quick escape. Finally, Su-heng finds a store to sell the black dense fat and threatens the shopkeeper to buy from him. He successfully gets the coin but decides to lay low and meet up with his teammates for special training. After successfully acquiring the coin, Su-heng makes the decision to keep a low profile and rendezvous with his teammates for a special training session. Among his comrades are Wang Sun and Lu Chang, both apprentice-level trainers. Wang Sun impressively managed to hatch a fully mature Highland Mountain lion, while Lu Chang has control over a fully developed Danger Red scale beast, as well as an intermediate-level dangerous blood-hunting wolf nearing the end of its growth. Inside the castle, Wang Sun and Lu Chang engage in a conversation. Wang Shun recognizes Su Heng, recalling their past participation in special training together. He remarks that Su Heng seems like an average individual with no outstanding talent as a trainer. Wang Shun holds the belief that Su Heng's acceptance as a disciple by the castle master was merely a result of remarkable luck. Lu Chang concurs with Wang Shun's evaluation and further reveals that the castle master has expressed a specific desire for Su Heng to serve as the captain in their upcoming duel. Just as the discussion continues, Lena enters the room and interrupts with an important piece of information regarding Lu Han, the captain, in her previous term. Despite achieving a respectable 4th place, Lu Han possessed extraordinary strength that stood out. However, he missed the chance to enter the secret place, which carries great significance. During dinner, a stern woman issues a warning to the others, cautioning against questioning the castle master's decisions. She emphasizes that even their teachers would not dare to defy him. The woman acknowledges their previous misjudgment of Su Heng and brings attention to the fact that his family's first pet control is a highly dangerous dragon snake lizard, surpassing the level of the other attendees. This revelation sparks anger in Lu Chang, who becomes upset by the woman's remarks. The old man accompanies Su Heng into the dining hall and advises him that the castle master may not join them if he is occupied with other responsibilities. He informs Su Heng that some of his teammates have already arrived and suggests that he go and meet them first. As Su Heng steps into the dining hall, the old man introduces him to everyone present and takes his leave to avoid disrupting their gathering. Suddenly, a knock is heard at the door and Su Heng senses a shift in the atmosphere. The woman who had previously defended Su Heng introduces herself as Lin Yuxin, an official driver who possesses 2 fully mature medium-level dangerous pets, a flower ghost tiger and an electric-tailed swallow. Su Heng introduces himself to Lin Yuxin, sharing that he became a driver 2 months ago and currently possesses a single top-level dangerous dragon snake lizard, which is currently in the middle of its growth. Lu Chang interrupts and expresses astonishment at Su Heng's rapid progress, sarcastically comparing it to his own accomplishments. Su Heng playfully agrees with Lu Chang's remark, further provoking him. Lu Chang, angered by Su Heng's response, summons his red-scaled beast, preparing for a confrontation. Su Heng observes the monstrous armadillo summoned by Lu Chang and realizes that his dragon snake lizard doesn't stand much of a chance against it. However, Su Heng contemplates employing the ancient dragon code to gain an advantage, considering that if he can't defeat Lu Chang in the competition, he might as well find a way to outshine him in another aspect. Before the situation escalates further, Lena steps in and reminds them that summoning beasts freely within the inner castle would disturb the castle guards. Su Heng decides to leave while Lu Chang remains in a state of anger. Wang Shun tries to console Lu Chang, assuring him that there will be future opportunities to address the situation with Su Heng. As Su Heng departs, he reflects on the upcoming expedition to Grizzly Forest and determines to make the most of the special training there. He is resolute in his goal to return as a worthy captain. The following morning, officers arrive at Su Heng's residence to escort him to the special training at Grizzly Forest. And that's how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well guys, if you like this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word part 2, also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video,